Hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today we're going to go over my Isaro paints and swatch them up. I have 28 colors and so we're going to have a little fun. These paints do sink down every time you fill them. This is my third fill to get them to the top, and I have used them a couple of times in the in-between. I wasn't using them initially when I first bought them, and I'm like, they get good reviews and everything. So I was like, but I had an ugly swatch card. They were all jumbled in the pan. So I remade the swatch cards and then started getting excited about the colors and the way that they felt, and got fuller pans going on them. And I'll show you a couple of pieces that I've made with them at the end. So stay tuned. Let's swatch these up. Today we're going to be swatching on Saunders Waterford hot pressed paper, and let's get going. I'm using my number 8 black velvet, and let's go ahead with the first one is Scarlet Red PR 255. These colors are quite vibrant. Then we go into our magenta. It's a very pink magenta. PV 19. I'd say these colors move moderately well. Then we have Isaro Pink Rose PR 122. Very bright. Now we have Quin Carmine. Quin short for quinacridone. And that's PR 202. Sorry, you can hear the sirens maybe in the background. Something's going on the street. We have Powdery Pink, PW6:1, PR 122. This does have an opacity to this one. You can see how it just covers right up my writing. These colors are very creamy. I'm glad I redid my swatch sheet and rearrange them. It's amazing what a little rearranging in a fresh swatch sheet can make you like much more excited to use something, especially when you've had it sitting there for a little while. Isaro Mauve PV19. These colors are beautiful and strong. Now the tubes are only 7 milliliter tubes, so they are small, and I would say that I had to use on a couple of them. I have a couple of full pans that they use pretty much the whole tube. So price-wise, they are on the expensive side. Not crazy expensive, but on the expensive side. There are 75 colors in the line. They're made in Belgium. It's a women-owned business. They have gum arabic in them, honey, single flower honey, and glycerin. So their rewettability is very easy. They do get fully firm in the pan. They're not like some honey-based where they're sticky or gooey or anything. They fully dry down, so you can take these to travel. Ultramarine, PB29. It's a very bright ultramarine, very saturated. Now this is hot press paper, so you will have more texture on more textured papers such as hot or cold press and rough press. But I'm still getting textures even on this paper. And we have Phthalo Blue, PB15:3. Now we have Indigo. This is made of 3 pigments, PB29, PBR7, and PB15. And it does get pretty deep. Then we have Icy Lake, which is a sparkly pigment. It does have a little bit of mica in it. It also has PB29, PBR7. This one is a tiny bit harder to re-wet than a lot of the others, but because of that mica, that tends to do that. It's very pretty though. It would be great in a night sky. Then we have Cerulean, PB35. And that's a perfect day sky. Now we're going on to Payne's Gray, which is, I used the whole tube to fill up this pan. Now it is a little overfilled. Let me go ahead. It is a little overfilled, but that used the whole tube of color on that one. And a couple of the others were close. This is made with PBK 11, PB 29, PB 15. And I only mention that because the tubes are 7 milliliters, and they do tend to go kind of quick after they dry down. You know, it's kind of nice to know how far that tube goes. It is a really pretty Payne's. Then we have turquoise, which is PG7 and BB 153. I hope I got that right. And this is going to be a potent color. Look at that. Woo-wee. A little too much water on there. This paper, being hot pressed, is slightly slower to dry. It tends to be a soft paper, this Saunders Waterford, but I got this is called the Fat Pad from Jackson's, and I thought I'd give it a try. And it's kind of nice because it's spiral bound and it goes back on its side. I'm kind of really liking it. Then we have Norman, which is kind of like a greeny blue. Very pretty color. Something a little more original to just this line of colors. That was PG7 and PV16. Then we have chromium oxide, PG17, and I like chromium oxides. I think they're a nice true green. They are a little bit harder to re-wet in the pan, but once you get them going, they tend to be a little bit on the opacity side. Then we have sap green, and that's PY 139 and PG 36. I can't live without a sap green. This one tends to be pretty vibrant, a nice glow, yellow undertone. And then we go into Isaro Green Light. This is PG36, PV35, and PY42. And this is very much your yellow, green, vibrant, sun hitting the branches, green. And these colors are picking up very easy from the pans. They're wetting very easily. And I'm using these black velvet brushes tend to be on the very soft side, or not the very soft side, but on the softer side. The next color we have is Chartreuse. And this is going to be more of your yellow green, PY129. It is nice and rich. Then we go into Isaro Yellow Light. This is another one that I filled up a half pan and it used up just about the whole tube after I refilled it 3 times. Because like I said, they do dry down and they do sink in, which is not uncommon for paints at all to do that. Daniel Smith is known to definitely sink down and have to refill to get a full pan a couple of times. This is a very vibrant yellow. It does have a slight warmth to it. Then we go into Yellow Ochre, which is your PY42. And this color tends to be one of their softest in the line. Doesn't have as much intensity. It is, I'd consider it semi-transparent. It does have a little bit of that heavy, but the texture on this is beautiful. Then we go into beige, which I'd consider beige like your titanium, buff titaniums. Only this one tends to feel a little bit cooler than a buff titanium. They call it beige, PW6:1. And this does have an opacity to it. Yeah, it's maybe a touch cooler than your normal buff titanium. You definitely would not need both on a palette. Then we go into Isaro Yellow Deep, PY154 and PO73. And for a yellow, it is very orange. It's a beautiful orange, very bright, but it is very orange. I'm surprised they call it a yellow deep. And then we have Saffron, PY110. And if I would have known that the Isaro Yellow Deep was so orange, I probably would not have gotten the saffron. Or I would have done it in reverse. I would have gotten saffron and not the Yellow Deep. But I kind of like Yellow Deep better. But they're very close. There's no need to have both of these on a palette. Oh, I've got a little hair on there. Wow, that hair just keeps coming back and coming back. Now we go into Cad Orange. The nice bright orange. And this has got some punch and some opacity to it. I'd consider it semi-opaque. But it is vibrant. It is gorgeous. If you do florals, this is beautiful. Now we're going into Oxide Orange, which is more on the rustier side. It's made with PR 101. I consider it more on the brown, rusty side. Earthy. It does have a texture to it. A couple of bubbles there. But very usable, good color. Then we go into Mars Brown, PR 101 as well. And this is Mars Brown Light. Soft, transparent. Then we have Burnt Sienna, PBR 7. It's a very warm burnt sienna, very red undertoned. Then we have Perling Red, PR 179. very pretty. Then we have Venetian red. If you've watched my channel, you know I do quite a bit of urban sketching, so I love my brick colors. Then we go into Oxide Purple, and this one was kind of different than I had originally thought it was going to be. It's PR 101. I thought it was definitely going to be more purple than it is, and it's not. It's very pretty. But it's definitely more brown. And I should have known by the PR 101. Then we have Sepia, which has the most colors added to it in this palette. We have PBK 6, PR 101, PY 42, PBK 1, but it is a potent one. Lots of texture. Very nice. Granulating color. And the last is Lamp Black with PBK 5. And it has quite a bit of gusto to it. And there we go. So like I said, this is 28 colors out of the 75 that they offer. And these colors are made in Belgium. Let's go ahead and let this dry, and then we'll do a little tape pull and see what we have. As we're waiting for those to dry, I did do this with these paints. You can see I used a lot of the powdery pink mixed in. And I also did the greens in this one. And I'll leave the link for this one. I did tape it and put it on YouTube. And the reds were done with Lutia paints. So I'll leave a link to that video as well. Maybe you're interested in some more organic type paints. So let's do a tape pull. It's the best part. This thin tape breaks really easily, but it gives some nice lines. And the clear tape is the Holbein tape, which doesn't seem to ever tear any paper that I've used it on. So let's go ahead and take a closer look. All the colors are extremely vibrant. Like I said, the only thing is the cost, because they do come in 7 milliliter tubes, but I think they're a beautiful brand. And stay tuned to see more of my swatching with more of my palettes. And thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. You have a great day. Bye-bye.